Oh, you motherfuckers. Okay. All right. I'm putting cases on all you bitches. Huh? You think you can do this shit? Dang! You think you can do this to me? You motherfuckers will be playing basketball in Pelican Bay when I get finished with you. Shoot program, nigga. 23-hour lockdown. I'm the man up in this piece. You'll never see the light of who the fuck you think you fucking with. I'm police. I run shit here. You just live here. Yeah, that's right. You better walk away. Go on, walk away, because I'm going to burn this motherfucker down. King Kong ain't got shit on me.
Concern for rapper DMX from the music world and beyond. His attorney saying he is in grave condition at a New York hospital. And ABC's Zachary Keish joins us with more. Zachary, good morning.
Whit, good morning to you as well. You know, from the beginning, there was something about that growl in his delivery that spoke to both the pain and the passion. Using that distinctive voice, he became a star in his own right. He became the cornerstone of the Rough Riders, all the while remaining deeply complex, deeply human, even flawed. Perhaps that's what makes him so relatable to the fans. Stop, stop, shut him down, open up shop. This morning, Earl Simmons, the artist who rose to prominence as DMX, is fighting for his life after suffering a heart attack. According to sources, the hip-hop artist was at home in Mount Vernon, New York, when he was rushed to the hospital Friday night.
He is in grave condition. Whatever the meaning there is, that's exactly what I'm being told.
His songs like Slippin' struck deeply personal notes, a mix of vulnerability and strength that made him unique. His 7 albums are already etched in hip-hop history.
I suggest you get started on the paperwork.
He also has more than a dozen movie roles to his credit. Missy Elliott, Eminem, Viola Davis among those lifting the artist in prayer on Twitter, moving fans with that untempered grit and enthusiasm, but also his honesty.
Telling the truth and it hurts.
Through the years, Simmons has openly struggled with the law, addiction issues, and overcoming a traumatic childhood. Recently saying that he was introduced to drugs at the age of 14 by one of his mentors.
I later found out that he laced the blunt with the crack. My thing. Why would you do that to a child?
Right.
And like 30, you know what I'm saying? And he knew how I looked up to him. Yeah. He knew how I looked up to him, you know what I'm saying? And like, why would you do that to somebody who looks up to you?
In 2019, he checked himself into rehab, telling his fans through this Instagram post. But his popularity and contributions to the culture have long been cemented. In July, more than 500,000 people showed up to watch Simmons and Snoop on Versus.
Seeing him up there looking healthy made people feel good about where he was right now. And I think that the response that we're seeing from the music community right now, sending well wishes, really speaks to that too.
Simmons has battled chronic asthma, which we understand contributed to that signature tone. You know, it wasn't all that long ago, a couple years ago, that I was standing outside of a motel not far away from where Simmons lives, and he was battling a similar scare. This morning, those in the hip-hop community and his family at large are hoping that he can stand up once again. Janae?
And Zachary, you mentioned that song, Slippin'. He says, I'm slipping, I'm falling, I can't get up. So many fans hoping he gets back on his feet so he can tear it up again. Zachary Keish, thank you so much.
Well, hey there, G.
Ladies and gentlemen, DMX, one of the greatest arguably top 10 in a lot of people's books. Thoughts and prayers definitely go out to him and his family, to the hip hop community, and to all of the things that DMX has been able to accomplish in his lifetime. Very noteworthy. This stream is not solely about DMX, but it is about, you know, a lesson that I believe that DMX has taught us. And I don't know if that, you know what I'm saying, I'm sure that everyone has gotten something from the situation in regards to DMX. However, when I seen this post right here, just kind of like, it did something for me personally. It did something for me. And I was like, you know what? I said, you know what? DMX, me personally, the situation outlines this right here. I'm fixing me because sometimes I'm the problem. I'm fixing me because sometimes I'm the problem. It ain't the boyfriend, it ain't the girlfriend, it ain't the husband, it ain't the wife, it ain't the kids, it ain't the naysayers, it ain't the frenemies, it ain't the family, it ain't the friends. Sometimes it's you. Sometimes you need to look at yourself and do a self-evaluation. Now, of course, DMX was struggling with a lot of things, depression, alcoholism, addiction. But my question is, how many other people are struggling with something and they never take the time to self-reflect? That's what's important at this moment right now. And I think that this is what DMX is teaching a lot of people right now. In my moment of depression, in my moment of struggle, in my moment of trial and tribulations, am I taking the time to fix me? Am I taking the time to heal me? I know a lot of people can agree with this, that sometimes they move forward in relationships or they leave relationships and they're not healed. They don't take the time to fix themselves. They don't take the time to say, you know what, let me reflect on who I am. Let me reflect on what I want next in life. And it's interesting. Very interesting. I also watched that interview, Bree, and I thought it was very, you know what I'm saying, thought-provoking, and it definitely, you know what I'm saying, very crazy, you know, that somebody would do that. But here's the thing, it's the people that we trust the most that do the most foulest shit. But really, again, this conversation is about us self-reflecting and us making sure that we find people around us that we say that's a part of our support system to help us reflect, to help us say, hey, take some time to yourself. It's okay. Because we all got those friends that, you know, that want us to hurry up and move past whatever the situation is. You know, when you break up, you get a divorce, you lose a job. It's like, oh, hurry up and get over it. It happens to everyone. You know, that hole in your heart, that emptiness, that void, that feeling of depression, that, you know, upset level, that anger, that anxiety, that stress, it happens to everyone. Well, everyone don't heal the same way. I mean, let's just be real. Everyone doesn't heal the same way. So when you get an opportunity to self-reflect, when you get an opportunity to fix you, how many people honestly say when they get out of a situation or something happens, they take the time to fix them? They take the time to look at their behavior. They take the time to say, let me reevaluate my actions. Because when you talk to a lot of people, it ain't a lot of motherfuckers who say, you know what, I fucked that up. Have you ever met someone who honestly said that they fucked up something? Whether it was at a job, whether it was with a friend, whether it was with a family member, in a relationship. Have you ever met someone that honestly said, you know what, I fucked up that relationship. I fucked up that last job. You don't meet a lot of people that take, you know, that grab the bull by the horns and say, hey, this is on me. You know what I'm saying? I messed that up. That's on me. And you definitely don't get a lot of people that says, I am taking my time to heal myself. I'm taking my time. Which is very interesting. I agree with you, Bree. Because I'm finding me because sometimes I'm the problem. This right here is so deep and thought provoking. Definitely. When I seen it, you know what's so funny? Because I heard, you know, I was, you know, doing a follow up on DMX and his life, and, you know, just listening to him talk. And it was thought provoking. And when I seen this post, it resonated with me. You're exactly right. Accountability. When I seen this post, I said, I wonder how many people are taking the time to deal with their depression, to deal with their anxiety, to deal with their stress, to deal with the fact that they themselves may be toxic. They themselves may be a narcissist. They themselves may have accountability issues. And I'm going to be honest with you. I see a lot of content creators, but I don't see a lot of people saying, I need to be accountable for me, for my actions, for what I say. I don't see a lot of that. Like, I see a lot of finger pointing and shit. You know, it's the man's fault. It's the woman's fault. Hell, it's my kid's fault. It's my mama's fault. Blame it on my daddy. It's the pastor's fault. But I don't see a lot of people saying it's my fault. It's my fault because I didn't have an open mind. I didn't respect someone else's perspective. I didn't respect someone else's time. I didn't respect anyone for them. I didn't value anything. I messed that up. So I'm just curious, you know, how many people know someone that says, you know what, they were man or woman enough to say, you know what, I'm fixing me because I'm fucked up. I'm fixing me because I'm fucked up. I'm taking the time to fix me. So when I seen the whole DMX situation, you know, I was like, man, you know, this is a blow to, you know, the hip hop community. And we know of course you start thinking bigger, but it's a blow to this man, because my thing about this, did DMX take the time to fix himself, to address his demons, to air out his closet? And I think that, you know what I'm saying, a lot of times when we feel like something is about to happen, we have this premonition that something is about to happen. We have this eerie feeling that something may happen. So we start speaking a lot. I mean, of course, it's an opposite effect as well. But a lot of people start speaking out. A lot of people start just giving away things, or maybe they'll be a little bit standoffish. But, you know, you notice that the conversation, when they talk with a little bit more passion. A lot of things become more revealed as they talk. And I noticed that in a lot of his interviews, a lot of things were coming out. Like, he was emotional about a lot of things. And I just wondered, you know, did he take the time to fix himself? Did he take the time to get help? Did he take the time to heal? I think a lot of us are caught in a fast life. Fast life. That fast life includes money, traveling, partying, sex, relationships. It includes a lot of risque behavior. You know? And you can always tell someone that's not confident with who they are for real, because they're always trying to keep up with the Joneses. And when I mean that, it's not just about purchasing material things. It's always like, I'm looking at everybody else. I'm looking towards everybody else. I want to know what everybody else is doing, where everybody else is going. And they don't sit their ass down to say, well, what do I want to do? What's important to me? Like, a lot of times people don't sit down and say, let me think about my life. Like, to be honest with you, there's a lot of people that don't do that. So when you start talking about words like accountability, it's almost scary. Like, what you mean? What you mean, player? What you mean, player? Say what, huh? Say what? Accountability? Whoa, wait a minute. And it's almost appalling to have to think that someone would have to tell you to worry about yourself, to fix yourself, to address yourself, to analyze yourself. And a lot of times people don't take the time to look at themselves because they're so busy looking everywhere else. I start asking myself sometimes, I say, I wonder, are people excited about what they see in the mirror? Are they happy about what they see in the mirror? And I'm kind of, I don't know, I'm kind of on the fence if Can you imagine? Let's say you got 10 friends, right? You got 10 friends, right? Can you, I want you to think about your 10 friends right now. And I want you to ask yourself, how many of your friends do you think take accountability for their actions? Or do you constantly see your friends in turmoil? You constantly see them in predicaments where they have caused it. They are the root and the cause of their problems. I want you to think about this. Like, they're constantly in an argument. They're constantly in drama. They're constantly gossiping. They're constantly promoting negative behavior. Every time they come around, it's some negative energy because they haven't taken the time to look at their self, to heal their self. Like, these are the friends that go from relationship to relationship to relationship, from woman to woman to woman, man to man to man, and just spewing out whatever it is that they feel like they need to spew out because they feel like whatever they say is so important, but they never take the time to really say, you know what, goddamn, am I really happy? Is what I'm doing, do I find a certain level of content? Am I excited about life? Do I keep people around me that remind me that it's okay for me to sit my ass down and not worry about everybody else? Ladies and gentlemen, there are people out there that on a regular basis, every time you see them, they have to tell you about somebody else. I'm about to piss somebody off. Every time you see them, they have to tell you about somebody else. Now, you would think that they were successful. You would think that they was happy. They was living their best life. Oh, look at me. Oh, I got this and I got that. But really deep down, when you look at it, and now that I'm bringing it up, now that I'm pressing the motherfucking button, I'm letting you know that, hey, yeah, that is kind of weird that every time I talk to this person, they always telling me about somebody else, like in a negative way. Like, do you walk around and pay attention to everybody else in their life? Like, can you imagine someone else trying to tell you about somebody else's relationship? Don't you think that's kind of odd? Like, well, why are you telling me about someone else's relationship? Why are you telling me about someone else's children? Why are you telling me about someone else's job or someone else's failure or shortcomings or how they fell off? Like, it seems that you are the bearer of bad news. Like, that's important to you. It's important for you to spread other people's failures, other people's shortcomings. So I asked myself, I wonder, are people like that happy? Can you imagine somebody talking to DMX and just, he's trying to work on him, but he's constantly allowing someone negative around him? Like, don't you feel drained when someone says, oh, let me tell you about such and such? Now, the conversation ain't about such and such. You know what I'm saying? I mean, no one mentioned such and such, but for some reason, such and such is on your brain. My thought process is this. When do you take the time to fix yourself? Misery loves company. I love that. I love that. Let me put that on the screen. Misery loves company. And it's a sad feeling, people. It's a sad feeling to have people that are not happy about their own lives, that can't enjoy their own time. Like, they need someone to constantly be around them. And it's not even on no uplifting type shit. It's about negative shit. It's about drama. It's about pushing the envelope towards bullshit. And I don't know about you, but with the whole pandemic thing, with, people dying left and right, jobs, people needing money, children being sick, and just the whole thing with the whole political platforms, it's just a lot of shit going on. And it's like, if I can just control the shit around me, I'm about to piss somebody off. If I can just control the bullshit around me. See, we can't control politics. We can't control the government. We can't control, what they're doing with the fucking wall and trying to keep Hispanics out. We can't control what they're doing across town. We can't control, goddamn it, what they're doing in goddamn Iraq and Afghanistan. But we can control what goes on in our households. We can control who we allow around us and around our children. We can control that. And I think that people get so overwhelmed about not being in control to the point where they just say, fuck it. They don't worry about it. You know, nobody worries about accountability. Nobody worries about, you know, their inner circle. Nobody cares. Like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to live my best life in these worst conditions. Can you imagine having a healthy support system? And I'm wondering right now, like with DMX, you know what I'm saying, doing what he did in his lifetime, movies, music, you know, just networking and building the culture in regards to, you know, putting out music and bringing people together. You know what I'm saying? I wonder, did he have a support system? A support system that encouraged him to fight his demons, encouraged him to use his resources, to take his time and get to know himself, to tap into who he was. I'm curious about that. Like, I'm curious, do people encourage us to say, you know what, let me take the time to get to know me. Let me take the time to fix me. I mean, I'm just saying, let me take the time to fix me. Definitely. But you know what, Melissa, here's the thought process, right? I don't think people know how to control themselves. Because some people have been out of control for so long, it's difficult to sit down and say, well, damn, where do I start? Where do I start? Do I need someone to help me start? Do I need someone to remind me to start? And that's why I hold so many people accountable. Like, I think that when you speak out, if your message is balanced, both men, women, they definitely can relate to your message. But if you're just spewing out more nonsense, you're adding fuel to the fire. Because really, here's the thing. If you look at the Bree, you look at, you know what I'm saying, the Melissa, you look at the Marios, and you say, you know what, hey, y'all need to sit down and focus on yourself. It's okay. Be selfish. Be selfish. It's your turn. You are the star player. Look in the mirror and say, I'm working on me right now. I'm not worrying about what they're doing in the club. I'm not worrying about what they're doing around the block. I'm worrying about me. My physical fitness, my emotional fitness, my financial fitness, my spiritual fitness. I'm worrying about my position in my life. And a lot of people are overwhelmed with that type of conversation. They're overwhelmed. They don't want to do it. Melissa says, we have a choice in what happens within ourselves. Sometimes you have to fight your battles yourself. You do. But you know what a lot of people say when they talk about fighting battles, I think people are under the impression that they need these magnificent weapons. Like, they need a grenade launcher, they need a tank. I mean, they need a missile launcher. Like, they need something big and you know, that's going to, you know, cause some damage. And really, honestly, what you need is a clear mind. You need patience. You need strategy. You need confidence. A support system is great, but here's the thing. It starts with you. Because you know, a lot of people say, hey, you came in this world alone. 9 times out of 10, you're going to leave alone. My thought process is you need to start motivating yourself. You need to start motivating yourself. You need to start thinking of yourself. Now, I'm not saying to the point where you're so selfish that you're unaware of other things. I'm saying that you're so selfish that you remember that you are the star player. I'm not talking about your kids right now. I'm not talking about your husband, your girlfriend, your wife, your friend. I'm not talking about none of that. I'm saying that sometimes you need to realize that you are important. Sometimes you need to take the time and just say, let me take a walk. Let me go to the movies by myself. Let me, you know, lay on the beach by myself. Let me take a drive by myself. Let me just sit and read a book by myself. Let me just take some time for me to show me how I am important. And I wonder, did DMX do that? I wonder, did he say, I need to show me that I am important? I wonder, did anyone take advantage of the situation and say, you know what, bro? Fix you. Don't worry about being a celebrity. Don't worry about being everybody's friend. Don't worry about being the next this and the next that. Fix you. Work on your childhood trauma. Work on your adulthood trauma. Work on your midlife crisis. Mend your wounds. You know what? Pride takes a toll on a lot of people. Ego takes a toll on a lot of people. Like, a lot of people are so prideful and filled with ego that, you know, they don't ask for help. Even though they know they need it. They don't ask for help. They don't ask for help. And you ever seen someone that needs help? Like, dude, how is it that you are a struggling rapper? You've been a rapper for goddamn, how many goddamn years? You still going from house to house to house to house. You're a struggling entertainer. You're still going from house to house to house to house. You're struggling with 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 kids, still having more kids. It's like, have you ever looked at someone that says, that motherfucker need help? That's real. I'm about to piss somebody off. That's real shit. Have you ever looked at someone that says, that motherfucker need help? People with relationship issues, like they talk. I mean, they use the social media platform to tell everybody else except talk to the person that they have the problem with. To me, I be like looking at shit like that. I be like, that motherfucker need help. And that's why I was so taken back by it. I'm so taken back by, you know, the Derrick Jacksons and the Tanya TKOs and Cynthia G's. I'm so taken back by these people because it's interesting that the message is always one-sided. The way that we empower and we encourage people, it's always a one-sided narrative, and someone always has to lose. Why? Why does someone have to lose if you're empowering women? Why does someone have to lose if you're empowering men? It's always, I'm going to separate myself instead of learning how to talk to other people. First of all, ladies and gentlemen, learn how to talk with yourself. Have a conversation that's going to be important, that's going to have merit, that's going to have value, that's going to validate that you need to change. It's not about deflecting, goddammit. It's about you choosing to build yourself. You believing in yourself. You not needing a standing ovation to take one fucking step. That's what kills me about a lot of the whole empowerment movements, especially by women. I'm going to be honest. We need this sisterhood. And I'm going to be honest with you, man. A lot of times when women talk about sisterhood, it be some toxic shit involved. It be some toxic shit involved. I'm going to be honest with you. I had a friend who attended an event and she was like, oh, you know, the women there were so nice and blah, 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 blah. And, you know, however, you know, it was this one lady, you know what I'm saying? She was already gossiping about this person and she already said this. And it's just like, damn, oh, get away from me. Then it's not empowerment. Then it's not empowerment. I don't give a fuck how successful you think your business is and what organization you belong to and how many nails you got and how long your hair is and eyelashes is, how big your ass is, how big your titties is, how much you can twerk. I don't care. It's not empowerment, sis. That's not fucking empowerment. That's toxic. That's pulling together a bunch of people to bring down someone else. A group of women in a room should not be a threat to men. A group of women in a room should not be bashing men. And vice versa. A group of men in a room shouldn't be bashing women. You empowering yourself should not depower anyone else. People are using this narrative of brotherhood and sisterhood, and that shit be so toxic. Can't stand each other. But you talking about we should be brothers. And they'll stab you in the face. Fuck the back. They'll stab you in the face. People ain't brothers and sisters. Get the fuck out of here. Always using the narrative kings and queens. Come on, bro. You act like peasants and goddamn jesters. But ain't nothing funny about it. So my thought process goes back to the original statement. Are we fixing ourselves? Are we fixing ourselves? I think it's very difficult for someone to say that they need help. I think it's very difficult for someone to say that I need help to the extent that I don't know where to start. I think it's very difficult for someone to say, I need help. I don't know where to start. And here's the thing. I don't know when to start. I don't know when to start. When do I start? Do I start on Sunday? Do I start after Easter is over? Do I start next week? How about next week? How long does the procrastination continue? How long does I'll put it off and wait till tomorrow because fuck it, tomorrow's promised? How long do you wait to take the first step? How long do you wait to start? Nobody wants to explain to themselves that they have failed. No one wants to showcase a level of weakness that people will say, well, you're not as strong as I thought you were. You don't have your shit together like I thought you did. How dare you not have your shit together? How dare you not be as strong as everyone else around you? Well, everybody's not the same. Everybody has different breaking points. Everyone has different standards and morals and values that all equate to the fact that, you know what, maybe they weren't taught to be strong. Maybe they weren't taught to appreciate themselves. Maybe they were, I'm about to piss somebody off. Maybe they wasn't taught to know their worth. Now we kick that shit around. Come on, let's be real. We kick it around. Know your worth, know your worth, know your worth. But what does that really mean? What does knowing your worth really mean? Because a lot of people scream knowing your worth, and it's always this counter of, I ain't gonna take your bullshit. I know my worth. Yeah, like I did that. Y'all should have seen my face. I ain't gonna take your shots fired. Ping, ping. I'm just saying. But knowing your worth shouldn't be a counter to anything. Knowing your worth should be empowerment to you. Understanding that your value is priceless. That what you bring to the table, but see, here's the thing. What you bring to the table, if you had to mark it with value, should be of substance. Oh shit, I'm getting deep. I'm getting deep over here. Do you have substance? Is your conversation positive? Is your actions positive? Should someone value being around you? What do you bring to the table that you say that you know your worth, that you say that is filled with substance? Here's the thing. Have you ever sat at an empty fucking table? You hungry as shit, breakfast and pass. You starving like a motherfucker, lunch and pass. It's dinner time and ain't shit on the table. That's what an empty motherfucker has to offer you, ladies and gentlemen. That's them knowing their worth with no substance. Nothing to feed off, nothing to take from, nothing to build with. Well, it's hard to validate yourself because now you're saying you're more or less a fraud. So really, do you know your worth? A lot of people set the table up real nice. Ooh, they set that table up real nice, right? Nice chairs. You know what I'm saying? Depending on what type of finish you like, whether it's wood or stainless steel, just everything's in order, y'all. They got damn it, I'm about to piss somebody off. They got a lot of chairs at the table, ladies and gentlemen. Some of y'all say, you know what? I got a glass table. That motherfucker's shiny. You can see through that motherfucker. It's marble under there. Like, it's a lot of shit going on at the table. They got chairs. They got like 20 chairs. They a boss. They a diva. They a king. They a queen. They know their worth. And you sit at the fucking table and ain't shit to eat. Now, come on now. We try. They look good. God damn. Did you see that boy in them sweatpants? Did you see that ass on her? They look good. They talk a good game. They just the way you like. So you patient and you wait for them to bring something to the table to eat, some substance, because they know their worth. They kept on preaching it on social media. They preached it every time they get into an argument. They preach it to their kids. They preach it to their frenemies. They preach it to their enemies. They know their worth. So now it's time to take upon the substance. And there's nothing to eat. There's nothing to gain. There's no conversation to be had because there's nothing there. Where is the value? Where is the worth? But see, what happens is you such a nice person. You decide to bring a dish. Oh my God. Am I getting too deep for y'all? I should just stop this shit right now because I'm about to piss somebody off. You bring a dish to the table. You didn't bring the turkey. You just brought some vegetables. Maybe you brought some starches, but you brought something to eat, but you was trying to be polite. And you said, you know what? Until you get your shit together, we can eat from what I brought to the table. That's cool. That's cool. Come on. And then what you notice is that every single time it's time to eat, you're only eating from one person's worth. You're only gaining from one person's substance. So then you start to get a little bit curious, like when do you bring something to the table? You was talking big shit. You was a bad bitch yesterday. You was a boss yesterday. You was a king yesterday. You was Big Dick Jonathan yesterday. Now you're sitting here with a shrimp cocktail. I'm just trying to talk to somebody. I'm just trying to talk to somebody. When do we take the time to say, before I invite you to my table, let me build my substance? Before I invite you into my home, let me build substance. Before I invite you to my life, let me build some substance. Let me evaluate who I am. Let me fix me. I wanted the DMX get that opportunity to start fixing him. What y'all think? What do you think is going through his mind right now? Of course, we know the obvious, the children and, is he saying that he lived a fulfilled life? See, I'm about to take this into a whole nother direction, ladies and gentlemen. What we know that DMX had a legacy. We understand that. We get that. But since we can see his legacy, do you think that that's the legacy? Do you think his legacy fulfilled him? Was it enough? Was it enough? Was he father enough? Was he boyfriend enough? Was he son enough? Was he friend enough? Was he celebrity enough? Think about it. Was he actor enough? Was he rapper enough? Because that's when things tend to happen to us, we always tend to recap on the situation and say, you know what? This is where shit went left. This is where shit got fucked up. I wonder how many people he would apologize to. How many grudges was he holding on to that he said, you know what, man, maybe it's not that important. Instead of letting you live in my mind negatively, rent free, let me remove that and put another, you know what I'm saying? Say, you know what, I got more space for positive things. How many people you know right now are holding on to grudges that won't allow them to move forward? Won't allow them to smile like they should smile, won't allow them to trust people, won't allow them to love, won't allow them to respect other people's space, people's time. It won't allow them to prosper. Bree says, I do not think his legacy was enough for him. Going back to his worth, self-worth, I believe he did not have a high value. He did not have a high value of himself for the things he experienced in life. You know what? I totally I agree with you. I agree with you. You know, a lot of people feel like, you know, when you take somebody out the hood or the projects or whatever case may be, you know, automatically they just transform into something. You know, like when people like they talk about, you know, young players when they go straight, they talk about going straight to the league. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times you talk about basketball players. But a lot of people say that when you go straight to the league, you don't get that time. You're not refined. So that time in college helps you refine yourself, like your skill set, competition, the way the coaches respond to you as a player. So when you skip over that, you miss the mark on certain things. You don't have the experience that you need to have in order to be great. Now, some people we know that can, you know, they're born with a certain instinct. They adapt and overcome very well, but there's not a lot of people that can adapt and overcome to situations. There's a lot of people struggling with trying to figure out certain things. So yeah, I totally agree. The thing about it is, what will your legacy be? Will someone say this is a person that knows their worth, or that knew their worth? This is a person that valued themselves enough to say that I am not great at all things, but I'm willing to try. And better yet, I'm willing to ask for help. Which again leads me back to this. What are we doing to fix ourselves? What are we doing to fix ourselves? What are we doing to build ourselves up, to make ourselves more resilient, to make ourselves more reliable, more trustworthy, more loyal, more confident, more aware, more healthy? Ladies and gentlemen, I'm hoping that you guys got something out of this. Again, my prayers goes out to DMX and his family. I'm hoping that, you know, this type of message, when people hear it, you know, it makes them think. It does promote thought-provoking conversation, you know, with your man, with your woman, with your children. And it makes you think, you know, what am I doing to better my life? Am I seeking my goals that I wanted to start a business or lose weight or travel or, you know, whatever it is, you know, to jump back in a relationship and to build again, like whatever it is, to know my kids, you know, whatever it is, you know, are you doing it what you're supposed to do to fix yourself? Are you asking for help? Are you seeking some type of professional guidance, or are you just talking to that miserable friend that only supports drama and gossip? Sometimes you need to step away from that. You need to move away from that. You need to run away from that. I'm just saying, sometimes you need to get the hell away because you need time to think. You need time to actually sober up. And I'm not talking about just from intoxication, but sometimes the place where you at can be a toxic place. The people that you're around can be toxic people, and you need to decontaminate. Ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know what this is, I am Mario J, and this is Tough Love. Until next time, y'all make sure that y'all adult up and make sure that y'all stay safe. Happy Easter. Deuces.
Oh, you motherfuckers. Okay. All right. I'm putting cases on all you bitches. Huh? You think you can do this shit? Jay! You think you can do this to me? You motherfuckers will be playing basketball in Pelican Bay when I get finished with you. Shoot program, nigga. 23-hour lockdown. I'm the man up in this piece. You'll never see the